And like Emmanuel would typically say, you can do a before and after.
Yes.
You know, how was your life been before and after? And if you check it and like, oh, let me vote this other person. There was something that my pastor said in church yesterday that I thought was so funny, but yet so true. He said, there's nobody that gets into Aso Rock that Nigerians are really, really happy with.
Yeah.
So you have to ask yourself, who will I be happy? Who I know I'm not going to be happy with this person, but which one can I take? There's something that my pastor always says. Sorry, I'm saying a lot of pastor. When people are getting married, I remember this before I got married, and he would say, before you get married, write out the pros and cons of your partner, and then check the flaws. He said the good things are the good things, leave them on. But you see those flaws, you now check the ones out of them that you can actually live with. So say for instance, he snores while he's sleeping is a con, and you're like, you know what, that can't be the reason why I'm not going to marry this man. If 3 out of 7 is, and then check the other one. But if there's a particular flaw, they're like, come rain, come sunshine, regardless of maybe 7 out of 10, 7 pros. You're like, that particular one, even the cons, there are some cons that you can live with, but that particular one, he says, abort mission. And that's something I want to say. If you check the pros and cons of this government or of whoever else is contesting for presidency, whether it's Peter Obi, whether it's Atiku Abubakar, whether it's Shea Makinde, whether it's any of the ladies, we have 3 women who are contesting for presidency. You check their pros and cons. What can they offer me? Because at the end of the day, like we've said, you're probably not going to be happy with whoever is going to be in seat. You were not happy with Buhari. You were not happy with, who was before Buhari? Jonathan. You were not happy with Yaradua. You were not happy with Obasanjo. Those are the democratic presidents that we've had. Then you have to sit with yourself and ask yourself, what exactly do you want and what can you live with, right? And I hope that when you do that, it would inform your decision come 2027. But when we will tell you to vote for Sam, that's never gonna happen. Yeah, it's not gonna happen. Okay, now that we've gotten that out of the way, we shall get into, like I said, our analyst unfortunately won't be around, sends apologies. But this morning, myself, Nima, and you, our very own Women Radio Daily News Review family, we know that you full ground. The numbers to call: 07000 917 917, 09155 917 917. Lastly, 0800 1235 917. Those are the numbers to call. To text us and be like, you know what, I don't want to call. I'm going to text or WhatsApp them in the studio. The numbers to WhatsApp or text are
07031 756 537, 07031 756 537, or 08155 917 917, 08155 917 917.
Yeah, let's get it. Okay, this first one, when I saw this headline, was it on Thursday or on Friday? I said, this man is really debated. Like, let's just leave it. Let me not say what I said. In the Daily Post, in most of the articles actually over the weekend, the Deputy Governor of Lagos State, Hamzat Obafemi, had said what I know that most of our newspaper headlines were very, very, sensational, but he said what he said at the end of the day. He said that most our young people should go and live at home with their parents. That why are you looking for rent and what? But we're going to get into it. Okay. High rent. Hamzat urges young Lagos workers to live with parents and relatives. He said, look, you're struggling with high rental costs. Instead of struggling with it, how about go and live with your parents? How about go and live with your relatives? How about shared accommodation instead of, committing yourself to housing that you cannot comfortably afford? He said young people, particularly those at the beginning of their careers, should make housing decisions based on their earnings and overall financial capacity. He said, look, because they were concerned at the interview about how a 22-year-old earning 100,000 naira monthly can afford a self-contained apartment or a mini flat that costs about 1 million. Where is this 1 million? It's more than this in annual rent. So he said, look, don't feel compelled to move into independent accommodation immediately after securing employment, especially when that income cannot support the cost. Let's not misunderstand ourselves. He said, if I start work as a young person, I'm not married, a lot of us live with our parents, a lot of us live with our cousins, and etc, etc, etc. Now, why I like this very conversation is that the APM governorship candidate responded and said, oh, Benny, oh, the calm down. He criticized what he said, saying that instead of them to address the state's housing shortage after so many years in power, you're saying that they should go and live with their parents. He said this recommendation does not address the underlying housing problem facing Lagos residents. He said the solution to Lagos State's housing crisis is not to tell residents to share apartments or continue living with their parents. He says that's not leadership. It is an admission of failure by the ruling APC, who has been at the saddle for nearly 3 decades, of which Obafemi Hamzat, the deputy governor, is also part and parcel of them. He said, look, an effective response to the housing crisis would require deliberate government intervention to increase the supply of affordable homes supported by genuine public-private partnerships. Nima, if maybe somebody else gave this advice, maybe people might be more willing, right, to accept, because we talk about it now. We don't advise people to go back home. We've talked about how a lot of people are going back home because they cannot afford the rent. But this the opposition, right, from the APM, Laja Adeoye, he's raised a salient point, which is that we have a housing problem in Nigeria, in Lagos. Yeah, in Nigeria too, yes. In Lagos, that's number one. Number two is also, he has also failed to address the fact that the astronomically high rates of rents
and the issues of agents.
And we've talked about this thing time and time again on here, even on her lens. Most of our shows we do that. So when an incoming, because he's posturing to be the governor of Lagos State, he has gotten the nod from APC, so he's the APC candidate for Lagos State. When you say things like this, what do you think Lagosians would be sensing and feeling? Because things are already hard for people. And granted, he didn't say this, or it didn't come across to me as he's saying it in a malicious manner or in a high and mighty manner. He's like, look, this is the alternative. But when you are giving an alternative, when you've not even gone to the root cause of the housing matter, that's the problem. And when you say shared accommodation, I was speaking with someone last week here, and the person was like, oh my God, I can't wait to finish NYSC because I won't have to live with the people that I'm living with, because the person is losing weight. And I was like, why are you losing weight? What's going on with you? That I'm facing so much stress. Because there's also the matter of you going to go and live with people and Lara, what's that in English? Make you uncomfortable. Like, there's so many branches of this tree of housing that when you just say, do you know what, go and live with your parents. If you're not also talking about the fact that there's unemployment, or the fact that even though they've said the minimum wage should get to a particular point, a lot of governors or a lot of citizens, Lagosians, are not even still paid the new minimum wage. There's so many things, but when you just say, do you know what, it just kind of like, do you know what, the solution to the housing problem is go and live with your parents, go and live with relatives.
He was telling me that day to go and, long ago when I first started,
yeah,
he was like, why am I still living with my parents?
I remember.
this is my response to you now. How actually, when we think about it, there's a difference between what he said and Bayo Onanuga coming out to see people are not hungry.
That's why I said, granted, he didn't come in a condescending manner. It didn't sound malicious, but at the same time, Oga.
Do you know that on the estate, Okiafa Isolo? The houses there are government houses.
Oh, there was a time that they were government houses, and the opposition, Laja Adeoye from APM, also said the same thing, that instead of us to look into how, there can be mortgages, I think he actually did say it. Hamzat also did talk about
I'm coming
it.
to a point too.
Go ahead.
Even as their government houses, my mother was speaking to someone one day about rent, because that was where she grew up. And the person said a 3-bedroom apartment now is 1.2 million naira.
Oh, and Jack on there,
Mhm.
that's cheap.
And my point exactly is 1.2 million naira is not cheap for me.
No,
for a
I'm saying
government house.
that that's cheap compared to how much houses are.
Yes.
So I'm not using what the government should. I'm saying you can't see a 3-bed house for 1 point whatever million naira.
I know. But still, for a government house,
Yeah,
a government estate,
yeah.
I know, see, private people buy, then they rent out, but still it is regulated by the government.
Mm-hmm.
1.2 million naira is a whole lot.
Mm-hmm.
So if he is coming here to say, go back to live with your parents,
Mm-hmm.
the question today is, how many of our parents own houses?
Ooh, such a good point, Nima. Shakare for you. Oh my gosh, such a good point. Because
many?
they themselves are crumbling under the weight of
The rent.
high rent. Yes.
So now you see children. I was talking to someone, and he was like, they've invited me to their house so many times,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm very picky about toilets,
Mm-hmm.
so I don't go to
Same.
and areas. So my dad is like, you know what, Nima, in as much as you have a loud mouth,
Mm-hmm.
you are a mojeje,
Mm-hmm.
such a place won't fit you.
Mm-hmm.
I asked him that, wait first, is this your area? How much is your
Rent
And he said they are paying about 2.5 million
for
their
2 bedroom.
3-bedroom apartment per month. I screamed. I said 2.5. And his parents don't have money for me. So he, as the first child, is under so much pressure. He also doesn't have a job.
And he lives at home.
He's under so much pressure. He's trying to make ends meet, doing different menial taxes just to be able to pay the rent. So if you say go back to live with your parents, what opportunities do our parents have? I remember I told my mom long ago that, Mommy, you pay taxes in Lagos State, don't you?
Mm-hmm.
So we should have some amenities we should get. The only thing I see we enjoy is the BRT.
Mm-hmm. The buses.
My mom was like, my premium food.
No, but that's the thing though. It's not really the buses, because have you have you tried standing at the bus stop to wait for the BRT bus? You can wait for as long as an hour.
I know.
So it's not like, is it enjoyment really? I think the demand is higher than the supply.
At some point, I went out on Friday, and my mom was like, they might take BRT. For me, I waited 10 minutes by my than phone.
You even waited 10 minutes. People wait for an hour.
There was no bus.
That's what I'm saying. People wait for an hour because they can say a bus is coming, and the other buses you go to enter are sometimes twice or 3 times as high as what you would pay on the BRT.
To the Lagos State government, because when we say they don't do anything, I always say at least my mother's tax sent me to school.
Yeah,
I always say so. But he coming out to say we should go to live with our parents. I can live with my parents at home because they own their house. I tell my mom every day that, Mommy, let's be grateful that at that point you and Daddy bought this land. You were working, there was money. Because imagine if we were paying rent. You have your children to send to school.
There are people who are paying rent 20 years on.
You have children to send to school. So at this point, even ayotamanyo, I don't know how to say that in English, wouldn't be there. Yes, let me go and live with my parents. How many bedrooms do we have in our house? Imagine if all of us were sharing a 2-bedroom apartment. I have brothers and sisters and my parents, and they were like, at this point, after your NYC, you get a house for yourself, a room, because we are grown after all. We boys and girls can continue to share a room. And my parents are still under the weight of stress to pay that rent. You're not coming to tell me that go back to live with your parents.
Yeah.
How? So rather than him saying, I'm not saying he was malicious, rather than him saying, you young Lagos workers, go back to live with your parents or share accommodation, they should put things into place
Mhm.
to ensure that we can get cheap housing. No, not cheap, affordable.
Affordable. I mean, to be fair to him, he did mention, mortgage financing that Lagos State is doing. But anybody who's tried that thing, and I can say this with a lot of boldness because every other market day, I'm checking to see, okay, what can we do for mortgage? So instead of paying my rent to my landlord, I can pay it as mortgage instead, and I'm moving to the places. First of all, it depends on how much you're earning. Second of all, it depends on the area. So let me give you an example. If you're earning say 500K per month and maybe your spouse is also earning maybe 500K, that means 1 million is entering the house. Based off of the income is entering the house, they will gauge it and tell you, oh, this is the kind of apartment or house that you can get, and this is the area you can get. So if maybe you currently live in, say for instance, Arepo, in rented apartment or with your parents, and then you want to now get a mortgage based on that, you're comfortable with Arepa, you're like, you know what, Badasi badge, I can live in Magboro or Wawa, or maybe even Opik. At least Opik, I'm getting closer to Lagos, or maybe even Bega. Then I'll say, oh, sorry, based off of the money that you're getting, what is after maybe Shagamu is where the house would be, or maybe Ekpe, which is takes you away from your normal day-to-day living, or maybe where your office is. And those are the things that when you see, you're like, wait, you mean that I can't afford a house in central Lagos if that's where this a case of that's where you currently live, right? Why would you not want to move me to Ali Mosho, or why would you want to move me to Ikorodu? That is away from my normal. You're thinking about as a family, your children's schools most times are close to where you live for easy commute. So if you're now moving me to Ali Mosho to Ikorodu, what happens to my kids' school?
We've not talked about the same point, compound interest.
We've not talked about that one either. So when I think the challenge is when you give a suggestion or recommendation to say, okay, we have the mortgage financing, this is what. You also have to take into consideration what can that, like, the person's interest, the person's family, the kids' schools and things like that. So people are just like, don't worry, I will not go with this mortgage because it moves me and it moves me away. It's different if you say, because people move every time, though people haven't been moving now because the rent to where they want to move to is so high. But back then, people used to move because of maybe I want to leave an area to another area. So you're looking at that area because of maybe the amenities that are there, social class, maybe accessibility to better education for your children. But these days, if where you are moving me to by virtue of this mortgage is quote and unquote less than where I currently live, why would I want to take the mortgage? So these are the fine details that they need to look into before they will now say, "Oh,
this." Of my friends now, we all live in Arepo. Most of them, I see them only during the weekends because they work on the island and they're like commuting the amount, the price. If he now says young Lagos workers should come and live with their parents, how do they want to get to the island? And meanwhile, they have to get to work before 8.
Yeah.
There's traffic. As an example, again, I have this aunt, her parents live in Ikorodu. It's their own house, no problem. But she works for high profile people. So that this person called her that day, get to my house in 20 minutes.
Away.
And the money the man would have paid her was $3,000 just for an hour of work. She lost that deal.
Of course, because she can't get it in 20
minutes. How does she want to?
She could have gone through ferry shower.
I mean, how does she want to fly 20 minutes?
No, actually, ferry is long. No, she can do ferry for 20-25 minutes, but she can't get there still. It will be on an hour. Yeah. The man surface is not a serious person.
No, you can't get. The next time, after that, she moved to Lekki. So the man called her and said, get here in 20 minutes. She got there in 10 minutes.
Accessibility.
So imagine if she was still living with her parents. We just have to make everything, that means from is what, accessible to people. You get it? We need to make life easier for them. If you ask me for my opinion, I always say, I don't have anything to contribute to. I don't have a solution, but I know this thing you are saying is not good. Don't ask me more than that. If you want me to offer you a solution, then don't even go with my idea. You understand? Not for you to come out to say, okay, Nima, don't wear color red. Now tell me which color should I wear? You get
Wine.
exactly. We should live with our parents. There's mortgage, but at the same time, is it accessible? Would I be satisfied with that place if I walk on the island? Hope you will not throw me to beggar.
Mm.
When I am paying, is there a plan that will not make me feel suffocated? Because you might say the house is 2 million naira, yes, pay over the span of 5 years,
Mm-hmm.
and before I know it, 2 million to the 20 million
Mm-hmm.
interest.
Mm-hmm.
And at the end of the day, I would continue to pay. I would get tired.
Yeah. Yeah.
And if I don't pay, if I default in payment, I lose everything I have paid.
It's a lot. It is a lot. Okay, this is the Women Radio 91.7 FM, the voice of women, Nigeria's first and only radio station for women and their families. Myself and Nima are here. We've been deliberating on what the Lagos State Deputy Governor said about young people going back home to live with their parents or living with relatives or having shared apartments. Picking up anybody who has lived in a shared apartment knows that it is better said than done. A lot of people have lost. There was a Nigerian girl in America who moved from the UK to America for her nursing, who got killed by her housemates. So when you say shared apartment, and we've also seen best friends who decided to live together and who were no longer friends anymore. So before you decide that even when you want to marry yourself, you don't want this permanent housemate or be roommate, you have to weigh your options. Gone, wait, this person, do I want to spend forever with you? How much more, this? I think that, like we've said, we need to go back to the beginning. What is the root cause of this thing? We have a housing problem, definitely. We didn't even talk about agents. We have agents who are adding 1 million, 2 million naira to how much the rent is. Where was it? I had one of my baby sisters was looking for an apartment for the better part of this year. A former apartment, the landlord died, and if you know anything about properties in Nigeria, once the owner of the house has died, the children just start fighting each other, and it just turns real ugly. So they were all asked to leave their apartment. The journey to looking for house, or is it the one that the agent will tell you, oh no, you can't talk to the landlord? Because like there's some people that will be like, I want to speak to the landlord, let me know who I'm dealing with, but they refuse to allow you to speak to the landlord because they know that they themselves they've done something.
I want to understand, after you now rent the house successfully,
Yeah,
for the next year, is it the agent who speaks to the landlord?
sometimes. And sometimes you and the landlord are shocked as to what the agreement was. And so of course landlords are not helping matters as well, because yes, they want the property to go, they want to be able to rent it because it's a money-making venture, but at the same time you're not cross-checking. There has to be checks and balances. What the agent is doing. Why relay boy 1.5? Agent to tell you that no, it's 3.5 because agent, lawyer, this, that. And by the time, like how, and that's okay. They say it's just they'll tell you, you have to pay it one off. You cannot break it down. All those things are what contribute to the situation that we're in now. But then I haven't heard anything about how to curb the menace called agents in Nigeria or in Lagos specifically, since that's where we are.
Is in Nigeria.
In
They even
Nigeria.
teach it on school campus.
Exactly.
There are agents to get hostels for you in
So
school.
they've not curbed the menace called agents. There's no structural body or regulatory body to make sure that these agents are abiding by the book. We're not seeing that. Like you're just like, wait, what? There, even for landlords, caretakers, tenants. Anyway, please do well to call us 07000 917 917 917 or 0800 1235 917. Those are the numbers to call. Call us, talk to us about what you think about what the Deputy Governor of Lagos has said about people who cannot, young people specifically, who cannot afford their rent. They should go back home to live with their parents. And like Nima said, what if the parents are paying rent too? Okay, you can send us a text or WhatsApp message on 081 155 917 917 or 0703 1756 537. Do we have
We
messages?
didn't talk about Taiwo Hassan. Ogogo.
Oh, do you know that that was the first thing I said I was going to talk about today? Our thoughts and prayers. I mean, the whole of Nollywood. Me too. I'm that man could act.
Ajayi Olusoga said, a true titan of screen and storytelling, Michael. Ogogo defined an era of Nigerian cinema with unmatched
He
grace,
did.
discipline, and authenticity.
Authenticity.
Subhanallah. His legacy remains immortalized through his craft. Rest in peace to a true legend. Olusoga Ajayi from Udunla, Ikorodu.
Yeah, last week his daughters had come out to plead, to say they are not coming out to plead for money, but that the hospitals didn't want to treat their father.
It was stage 4 cancer.
Yes, it was that the hospitals didn't want to treat their father, and so they had come out to say, please, we need help, because I think is it the governor of Senator Yayi, who's aspiring governor of Ogun State. Because aspiring governor of Ogun State had, they said he had been so instrumental in helping with their dad's sickness. However, unfortunately, we all got the news yesterday. I think on Friday as well. Was it Saturday? Some of his colleagues had done a prayer. A prayer. Fidel prayer is not that, right?
Fidel prayer is after the death.
After the death, okay.
They just did a prayer.
A prayer for him, and unfortunately, he's passed on. Our thoughts and prayers are with his children, his family. Even the entire Nollywood industry, because he was there was no scandal with that man. He was, and he could act. Such a handsome man. But yes,
out of my mind.
I
didn't want to sound weird.
No, such a handsome man. But yeah. Any more messages?
So we have a voice notes.
Go ahead.
They need to do everything possible to make sure the security. The kidnapping of Askira children over 4 months now, they are still in the captivity in Borno State. Where are we headed to? How can the woman be living inside the bush? People spend 100 days, 150 days inside the bush. I think it's unacceptable. I don't know what else we need to say to the federal government. They should quick and do the needful on the state police. So state and community are policing themselves. Because people are living in the bush, people are dead. Several people are inside the bush, several people have been killed. And on the issue of former Vice President Atiku Abubakar saying he's going to restore subsidy back, I think he just want to use that to capture Nigeria to vote for him. Because reversing the subsidy regime come back, it won't help us. It will even do much more active, more achieve to Nigeria. Because since the removal of the subsidy, most people have increased their rent, house rent. A lot of transportation have gone up. Many things have increased. They have increased salary. How are they going to go? And it's on record. Close to more than 27 states are unable to pay school. More than 27 states are not unable to pay salary of their workers. You can go back. That was why they give nickname to former governor of Osun State, Alek Pechola. They call him Baba Afusa because he pay half salary. I think for Atiku to say that, I don't just know what came to his mind. But to me, it's just a jamboree. We can't do anything, or else if you want to go back to Egypt. And this current government, the inspection of this current government, federal government, they have made a lot of money, both federal and the state. They have much resources in their hand. But these resources did not reflect on the citizens. And the reason is simple. Most of the state government and the federal government involved in jamboree project that will not benefit common citizens. Most especially the coastal road that the federal government is doing, and Sokoto Badagry road. The question is, the old road that we have that has been dilapidated, nobody reproduces it. During the weekend, if you see much noise in Edo State, most of people that once rainfall like this, the big lorry fell on the road, a lot of calamity. I think we need to quickly call on this state governor to account for the money they collected since 2023. Because if we fail to do this, most especially the second time government, they will have come with our money immediately they finish their tenure after 2027. And Nigeria is going to suffer for it. Instead of all of us looking up to federal government, I think we should move to the state governor and ask them, how did you spend this money? Because it's on record. They distribute billions of naira among themselves. And why we need to hold the governor for the local government? Because most of the governor did not give local government the autonomy to operate. What they did is that they just calculate the salary of the local government and give it to the chairman and put some change on it. We need to question this state governor. A lot of money are with this state governor. And if we citizens in the state fail to do this, most of this governor will have come with our resources. They will have come with this money. There's a lot of money in the hand of governor. I want any governor to say they did not receive and form of what they received when Buhari was in charge as a president. They have received a lot of money, but a lot of them did not do much. They just go and keep their money, they siphon that money, they flit out that money abroad. Immediately they finish, you will see many of them, they will return to foreign land. And why? We need to question them now. It is now and not later. Good morning, additional was my name.
Thank you so much, Additional Wasiu, for your. I mean, you asked so many questions and you made so many points as well. It is well with Nigeria. All right, those are the messages that we have for now. We're just going to slide right into the next headline for today.
We're taking. Oh, we have a call.
Go ahead.
Good morning, Ambers.
Good morning, WFM. I greet Olorioko.
Good morning.
We thank God for another day. See these subsidies and all the excuses that we are giving on behalf of the government. If the Tinubu administration woke up on the day of inauguration to say that subsidy is gone, did they plan for it? Because we learned that this man just said it wasn't part of it in his inaugural speech. And look at the damage, the colossal damage and harm that decision has done to Nigerians. And then somebody will come and tell me that we should hold governors accountable. When he was removing the subsidy, did he tell us that governors should be held accountable? The subsidy has not done anything good for this country. The Lagos-Calabar Coastal Highway, the last time I Googled it 2 months ago, it was just 30 kilometers. I think that's about 800 and something kilometers. Am I correct? My friend traveled to Kaba. He spent 12 hours. He said 11 and a half hours or so. Can't remember. He said from Osun, they went to Ekiti to Ondo. They were navigating just to get to Kaba. Benin, Shagamu Road now is terrible. My children just came back from that place. The hold up is terrible. They have to go and pass some places through Okada. Then from Benin to Asaba, it's a no-go area. They advise you to go and pass through Ekoma. Can you see what we are passing through in this country? And then they say we have more money. Government is no longer owing salary. But the things that you were buying for 200 naira before subsidy was removed, you are now buying it for 1,000 to 1,500. And they are telling you that this government is okay. Look, from my own experience, the first tenure of any government is usually better. This government is spending almost 4 years now. I don't see anything they are going to do. As for Atiku coming, is just rhetoric. He's just trying to give us the same dish that Tinubu gave to us to come to power. And when he comes to power, they will tell us, is it not Tinubu that spoiled it? Nigeria, shine your eye. You want to vote for Atiku, go ahead. You want to vote for Tinubu, go ahead. You want to vote for Obi, go ahead. You want to vote for Showore, go ahead. But my own position is this. You cannot deceive me. If you deceive me, I can't deceive myself. I know who I want to vote for. And I see the antecedents. It's not what the cheap propaganda on radio stations. It's not tribalism. It's not religionism. It's not ethnicity. I will vote for a man that has been tested and trusted. It's my own position. You see all this noise that this man is making. The very first day they swore him in, he was already talking of 2027. That was why I had to woo all the governors to his side. I don't understand how a government that is in power and their supporters will see black, they will tell you it's white, they want to force it on your throat that it is white. Look, you people that are presenting there, let us say the truth. Oh, the Goro is seeing you. Is it not affecting you? But they will come and they will be selling lies to you as if you people are kids. You don't know what you are saying. Look, next page, Jari. God bless you.
Thank you. God bless you, Ambrose. Did you hear what he ended with?
You say street Igboro, right? You know. No, we are all going through this.
Yeah,
Go ahead.
Good morning, Evangelist Dixon. How are you?
Hello, good morning, Madam Nema. Good morning, Tony.
Good
Good morning,
morning.
everybody. We say Alhamdulillah, thank God, because every second, every minute, every hour, people are dying and still alive. And now we go one day. That's why I always do whatever I do in the fear of God. Because Bible is appointed unto man once and after that the judgment. If you do and get away here, you can't get away from God. Where will you spend time? Thank you. Onema, I quite agree with all you have said. Even for me, when you started, they say, I won't be playing with any government that has been in power since it's an item, which is true. I don't know who is the guy that will be happy. He is not complaining, and that's why I'm saying, other people comment, what are you doing differently from what this person is doing? Actually, the last call say, I believe what additional, a lot of additional was said, I believe. But the only area I try to disagree a little bit is that the coastal road, the old road, yes, they should have worked on it. But they are working on it. I traveled last time. And it's concrete from Chagamos. So going to the east, it's concrete. It's only when we have more problems in Guinea and Delta. That is only, I see them, they are working, they are doing some concrete. I saw, you know, they say, I saw it. So one name I say, what Lagos State government said, I agree. And they should look into this. Sometimes when I tell the Nigerians, don't other people, go to where we are working. You see, first of all, I work and this is what we are complaining about. Look at the agent, look at it. Nigerians are there with me. That's the only time I'm talking. I know what I've gone through from Nigerian people, those who doesn't have the fear of, like some of us. See, look at agents. Look at if they can bring down the cost of cement and every other distance. Yes, sometimes, okay, now, of course, it's only we don't always allow to move out quickly. But our boys, they move out and be able to, in our own time after secondary school, we joined together and rent the room. I say the room then was 30 naira. Flat was 80, 100, based on the, we still have good landlords, even with the cost of our, that some landlords, from in some places, flat, if they don't flat, it's going is less than 600. This is what I know. Some landlords, if they don't flat, it's less than 800 in some landlords. In my area, we are in the same area, 3.5, 3 million, 2.5, 3 bedroom flat. My son, when he wanted to, he just in himself, wanted to rent 3 bedroom, 2.5. The other resident is in himself, which is what, how much? You are calling 1.5 here. The other is 1.2 or 1.3. A room self, Saloshiwa, our life here, our Kukurupen there for a year. We are the cause of our own problem. Nigeria, we are so wicked, we don't love one another at all. So, where would you want to be?
We've lost his call.
It is well. Next headline, please.
Federation Account Allocation Committee. Government face questions as payouts. It's 47 trillion naira. You know, for me, when I see numbers and the currency, I always have to look well. Good morning, Ambrose.
Oh my God, please don't be annoyed. You see, this narrative, this trajectory that we are worse than government. How can you be worse than a governor that will steal billions of naira simply because you just maybe peeved? They say you are worse than government. I don't understand. Excuse me. As I'm talking to you now, is it not the government itself that is supposed to ensure that, there is orderliness, that there is no impunity? Is it not every society are prone to stealing? Even in Europe, America, it is government policy. They are looking at the people at the top. How can you say somebody who has not eaten since morning and then he has the opportunity to steal? I'm not supporting stealing, no. And the children have not eaten. But me, I don't steal. And you say that he sees the opportunity where he can feed his children. You say no. When your guy is stealing and you are now blaming, the fish rottens from the head. Let's stop all these things that government, some people are worse than government. Excuse me. What life can be higher than if I don't give you electricity, don't vote for me? What life can be higher than Amagbekowale? It is not a very fat lie. We just come and we begin to pay. There is no part of Nigerian road that is good. Fix this thing and make it look as if it is a very small problem. The only road that we can see for now is this Lagos-Ibadan road. And immediately you pass, I think, Ogeri or so, moving towards Ibadan, some portion of that road was not retired. The road is still there. You can see it for yourself. Apart from that, they should come and tell me one road. Maybe Shagamu Abeokuta too. Okay, maybe. That's all. See, let's stop deceiving ourselves. So, this subsidy is gone was a very bad policy that took everybody on our way, including Mr. President. I don't know what he wants to come and do. Maybe he wants to come and multiply the sufferings of Nigerians. I don't know. Because they told us ab initio that once they remove subsidy, over time, prices will crash, refineries will begin to work, people will begin to build refineries. They even told us that they will build refineries whether every 4 years. Although which lie, which scam can be bigger than that? So nobody should come and tell me that the Nigerians they were even worse than government. I don't agree with that. God bless you.
Another call. Good morning. What's your name and where are you calling from?
Hello, good morning, Imo.
Good morning, Mark.
Good morning.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good morning, Mark.
Yeah.
Welcome.
Umi, good morning.
Good morning. Good to
Yeah,
hear
how
your
was the
voice.
weekend?
It was good. It was good.
All right. So, I need to chime in on this topic, right?
Okay.
Yeah. I think we have been able to, set the internet on fire, and the political atmosphere has been on fire, right? So, for me, I think economic ignorance, intellectually dishonest, and political deception to say that subsidy should return. If we did not know where we are coming from and where we are right now, due to the regime of subsidy fraud, then we are going to keep and going backwards. We're going to set ourselves 50 years backwards from where we are coming from. We are going to deep economic mess from the past, by the regime of subsidy. So Atiku, as a person, the vice president of Obasanjo, we're paying subsidy. 1.3 trillion naira was budgeted for subsidy every year. Let me ask Atiku, at that fraudulent regime at the time, how many people have been convicted, have been tried for subsidy fraud? How many have been convicted during the time of OBG and Atiku? Nobody that I can remember. It has a 3 day, right? 1 billion annually for subsidy. Why Atiku was VP? No accountability. Now, Before this president took office, it is not a secret anymore. 27 states who don't pay salaries. And as I talk with you, they are able to pay salaries. They are paying pensioners, right? And now these civil servants, are they not a common man like you and I? Are they not our friends and relatives and family members? Because people are saying they don't know where it's going to. As the people at the civil servant level, are they family and friends? Are they not people like you and I? Are they common man like you and I? Are they not the people that we go to the market? Are they not the people that are going to contact contractors, reflect the economy with the money that are being paid? Are they not the one that will distribute the wealth, the money that has been paid to them? So it's to ask these questions. The first of all is, when people come up with this, you have to. Doesn't make any sense. Why is they paying subsidy? Speaking was printing 22 trillion naira. We were borrowing to pay the subsidy. We were so much in financial conflict, was engaging in what is called pre-export financing. It was under that pre-export financing that we were using our crude oil, which is our main foreign export exchange, to obtain loan. Our crude oil was used to obtain loan just because we want to keep sustaining the subsidy regime. Doesn't make any sense. So we should go to that regime. When 27 states could not pay salaries, so we should go to that regime. We were borrowing from CBN. People say we should go back to that regime. We were in deep financial mess. They want us to go back to that regime. Doesn't make sense. That is where we're coming from. We were borrowing to pay subsidy. And if you ask and say, oh, other countries are paying subsidy, they are giving people subsidy. Please, can I ask a question? How many countries are borrowing to pay subsidy for their own citizens? Does it make any economic sense that a government of the country will be paying for subsidy, borrowing to pay for subsidy? If you have enough, if you have excess, and you are dipping your hands in the pocket to pay for that subsidy, it makes sense. But if you don't have, and you are borrowing to pay the subsidy, it doesn't make sense.
All right, Ambrose, we've run out of time. Sorry, Mark, we've run out of time and won't be able to continue.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much for calling. We were begging everybody to call earlier, and now that time has gone. I'm calling, but it's okay. We love the calls. Thank you so much to every single person who has joined us, in today's conversation. Evangelist Dixon, Ambrose, and finally Mark. And to our text messages, we had
Additional was you and Ajayi.
Yes, thank you so much for making today's conversation very, very interesting. About the subsidy thing, we probably will continue this subsidy conversation this week because it seems to be, I don't know, making its self stand. What is the English for it again? And so, with our other analysts for the rest of the week, we shall delve into it. Are you for or are you against? Let's look into it. Mark is saying no, we should not. Mark is against us going back to it from everything he said. So we'll see. I think it was Ambrose Ambrose is for. I think Ambrose was for. Yeah, the subsidy. Okay. With that being said, Nima, it was great doing this with you this morning. Do stick around with us. 9 o'clock is the news, and 9:05 is Heartlands. Don't go anywhere.
W on